Welcome to Jared Scott Outdoors. This YouTube channel is dedicated to getting our youth more involved in the outdoors. To do this, I'll be out with family and friends doing all sorts of outdoor adventures. This week on Jared Scott Outdoors, we're out to do some fishing, and we're actually going to be fishing for bull trout. And I've got Jacob and Nathan. You've seen both of them plenty of times. Now, Jacob and I have been talking about doing this for, what, a year and a half or a couple years? And we've wanted to go fishing for bull trout. So a lot of people have some misconceptions about bull trout, and actually when we started talking about doing this fishing trip, it started because I posted a picture of one of my kids holding a bull trout that he had caught when we were steelhead fishing. And I got a lot of flack from it because people were saying, hey, that's endangered, you can't have them out of the water, you can't catch them, and this and that. Well, you can fish for them, you can't keep them. So I decided, after getting all that flack from making that post, that I was going to do a whole episode on fishing for bull trout just to show that you can do it. So anyways, we've got a lot more we'll talk about with these, but for now, let's go do some fishing. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, one of the reasons that Jacob and I talked about coming out fishing for bull trout was because I showed a picture with my son holding a bull trout, and we kind of got a little bit of flack on social media. So I just want to clear that up right now. Bull trout are threatened, they are not endangered, and different states have different, they're in different categories of how threatened they are. Idaho is in really good shape, and so if Idaho was on its own, we might even be able to catch and keep. However, that's not the case, but we can catch them. And again, Idaho has a really good population. And you can actually, if you want to go in and search, go to the Idaho Fish and Game and just type in bull trout, Google that. You'll get an article, most likely, I was able to, that was in 2017, where the Fish and Game actually are telling us to and promoting going out and fishing for bull trout. So you may have heard that you can't catch them or keep them, and that's true, you can't keep them. You can take them out of the water. You just got to get them off and, of course, release them quickly. But they are able to be fished. The Fish and Game actually promote going out and fishing for them and having fun and enjoying the fish. And so that's what we're going to go do today. With our rods ready, we headed down to the river. You can use jigs, spinners, flies, whatever you typically fish with in a river like this. But we chose to start the day with our fly rods. I wouldn't recommend using bait, as it seems that can get swallowed more deeply, which makes it much more difficult for catch and release. Alright, so we are down here on the river trying to figure stuff out. Again, I have never fished specifically targeted bull trout. I've caught a few, but it's just been steelhead fishing. So I really don't have a clue what to do here other than just what I've read, a little bit of talking to some other people. From what I gather, they're pretty aggressive right now, and they'll go for big streamers and things like that as they're working up into their spawning areas, getting closer to spawning season right now. So this is just a new ball game. We don't know what to expect. We don't even know if they're here or if they're further upstream. So this is just going to be an exploring trip. Nathan's exploring the tree here behind him, hooked up there, which will be the case, I'm sure, with a lot of this as we're trying to fight through all this brush. But anyways, this is just kind of a new adventure for us. We don't know what to expect. We're just trying to learn. We know there's bull trout in this stream. We just got to find them. We found some beautiful stretches of river with some good looking holes. But other than seeing a few small fish dart off, we really didn't see much. We spent a bit of time making sure to give this area a chance, but it just didn't seem like anything was going to change. So these are known to be pretty aggressive fish, and I'm told in this situation they're either here or they're not. And if they're in the hole, they're going to come at you within a couple casts. If you don't see them darting after it, at least some action within a few casts, move on and just do some moving at this stage. And we're just not finding anything. So we have seen a few little ones. I had one that might have been like a 6-7 inch one come after what I'm throwing at it, a white streamer, which is nearly half the size of it, but it's really been dead. So as I mentioned, we're kind of exploring. This is all new, so we are going to cut our losses and head upstream. I'm guessing that we are a little behind where they ought to be at this stage, so they're probably upstream. So again, it's just we're hunting right now. We're hunting for fish and see if we can find some. We headed upstream a few miles and got back on the river. This area was a lot tougher to fish, just too many downfalls across the river. But as we started fishing, it was Nathan who was the first to yell, "Fish on."
Here's your net.
It was a small one, and it turned out it wasn't a bull trout, just a cutthroat. However, that was a start.
First fish, it's not the bull trout that we're trying to go after, but it's a good cut.
You gonna need some help?
Yeah, he's on the other side of the log.
It was actually Nathan again that yelled "Fish on." This time he added the qualifier that it was a big one. Both Jacob and I hurried down to try to help. He was in a tough spot to net this fish.
What's up, Nate?
Got the first big one.
Probably down. Holy smokes! Look at that thing. Yeah, go down underneath. That is huge. Holy cow.
Unlike the last one, this one was obviously a bull trout, and a big one. Just what we were hoping to find.
Oh, you'll see him when he comes down. He's right under the log.
He's kind of... No.
Come right up to the top of the log.
Oh, there's another one following him. See it? Yeah. See it, Dad? Right in the log, there's another one. Yeah, there's...
Okay, give us some slack right when you get by him. Just let the pole tip go down.
You're wrapped around. Yeah, I saw the other one too. It's up here. Want it on your own? Oh, here's the stuff.
There.
Oh, obviously I'm off the net for it. There you go. He's back up here, but I'm all wrapped.
Right under the log. Oh, no!
Is he off?
Yes, he's off. Oh, Nate, that was a big one.
Good one. The other one too.
Jacob told us the lesson here was don't ever let him be the net guy. The other lesson is not to catch any of these by fallen trees, which are everywhere on this stretch of the river right here. So as soon as he caught it, he was in trouble. We were trying, it just kept bouncing back and forth underneath this log, and it was kind of inevitable, I think, but it was a good looking fish. So we at least know they're here, they're real, they're not just some made up story. That was a big 18+ inch kind of fish, and that gets me excited. So we'll keep fishing and see what happens. We'll get one on camera.
I was the next one to get a fish to take a fly. It was a pretty fish, but not a bull trout.
All right, I'm on the board with the cutty. Still looking for that bull trout.
Got one, finally.
We were getting a handful of these littler guys. This one actually appears to be a rainbow hybrid with cutthroat. Oh, that was a good catch. We're gonna get him back in there. But the little guys were finding in the little holes. The big one, Nathan, was in a nice big deep hole. And we're having a hard time finding those. So we're having fun though. This is just really tough fishing because every hole has a tree in it. There's logs all over. It's tough.
All right.
Nathan seemed to have some luck today as he now landed the first bull trout of the day, although it was a small one.
It's a little dude. But it didn't take much effort to catch him.
That bull trout was probably a resident here, as opposed to those older fish migrating in from the Salmon River. When I was dropping a fly into a small but deep hole, I saw a big bull trout come after, but missed my woolly bugger. So I yelled at Nathan to come on over as I was sure it would try again.
So I just had a jerk. Come on, take it.
Oh! Got it?
Yeah!
After seeing Nathan lose his because of the brush, I didn't waste any time in netting this big guy.
Oh man. I didn't want to waste any time with all the brush we got here and losing that like Nathan did, so.
I gotta get some pictures of that thing. That is gorgeous.
Here it is, 18-inch bull trout. They're just beautiful fish. This is neat. I'm gonna get him back in real quick. All right, so I fished this little teeny hole and I missed him. He came up and just kind of touched it. I felt it for a little bit, missed it, called Nathan over, said get over here and film because I think I got one. And just took a couple more and wham! This river's a tough river though. We might be trying another one out here pretty soon just to get in some bigger water, but that's cool.
It's a cutthroat. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty.
While Jacob was landing this fat cutty, Nathan dropped his line in the top of the hole and watched a big bull trout chase after his fly.
Did Jacob give up the big one for the little one?
Probably.
It came out a couple more times chasing Nathan's woolly bugger. However, when he had a take, it wasn't the bull trout. This one ended up being a rainbow.
Well, there he is. I can see it. There! Oh! The little guy, now Jacob gets a chance. Here, bring here. It was coming out to eat this guy.
Well, there's a big one in there that we've seen a couple of times coming after the ones we catch. The little ones that go for our flies. So we're going to keep at it.
Now Jacob had the hole again, and another chance.
There! Oh!
Well, that was it. Probably a 15-inch bull trout. But as you saw, it shook the fly. And try as he might, he couldn't coax the big guy back out. For now, it had learned its lesson and stayed hidden under the log. Nathan, however, wanted to try a few more times, and surprisingly, he got that guy to come back out, and he set the hook.
There, you got it.
There. Come from. It just looked a little.
There we are. That's why this is hunting here. This is a combination of hunting and fishing.
So we finally caught this one that we've been going after for a while. We thought it was over, but then sure enough he took it. He's not the 18-incher, probably more about 14 or 15 inches, but still a good looking fish. She goes.
Getting on the board, Jacob finally landed his first bull trout.
Do we need the tape measure for this?
I think so. See, the effort of a real fisherman is kind of like shed hunting. The smaller ones, anybody can find a big one. It's the small ones that not everybody can get.
There you go, it's official. You got a bull trout.
Got one.
When we were all split up a little, I heard Jacob yell that he had a big one, and so I hurried on over to help out.
He came up from the depths and just swallowed it. Took it. It was awesome. Pretty exciting. Lost for words.
That's my next one. Just maybe a 13, 14-inch fish. But just neat fish, kind of pretty. Put that back in. That was a smaller, less obvious hole that I got that, so I wasn't quite ready with the camera or anything, but we're having fun. We're getting them figured out. Keep doing where you were first. Give that, oh, there you are. I didn't even see it.
Oh, there's a huge one.
Okay, try to swing that down here then.
There's a monster in there.
Nathan caught this one that's about a 13, 14 incher here. I netted it, I'm gonna let it go, but he spotted a toad up in that hole. So that one is gone. Now we're gonna see if we can get the big one. All right, this big guy is hiding out in a spot you just can't get that fly to drop into and stay. And he's hiding back underneath that waterfall back here. There you can see it. So we're gonna switch to a weighted jig and see if we can drop that in, give that some wiggle action and see what happens. You know, again, this is kind of more like hunting than fishing, or at least a combination of the two. Because you're finding them and then you're trying to figure out, all right, now how do we get that guy?
Jacob grabbed Nathan a weighted jig, and with the new lure, it didn't take long at all to get a hit.
Jig it up and down. There. Oh!
Does that look like, that's not it, is it?
Oh.
Can you swing him this way?
This was another 14-inch kind of bull trout, not the big one he had seen. So back he went to see if he could get it. This big one did get wise to us, and while we saw it a couple times early on, after a while we didn't see it again. I think it just hid out underneath those logs.
We've each caught a few, as you've seen, and caught some pretty decent fish. However, it's also pretty tight fishing, and we've covered a lot of ground just to find the few holes that we found. And so we're actually going to go ahead and jump ship real quick and drive off to another tributary and try another little river and see if it's a little more open. I think it has a bit more water, and so I'm hoping for maybe bigger pools, maybe less trees if we're lucky, just to make it a little easier for that. But we did catch some and had some fun. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and switch and head over to another spot.
When I started editing this adventure, I fully expected to show you the whole trip in one episode. But I guess we had way too much fun and I'm already out of time. So we'll show you our second half of the day next time and discuss a little bit about where we're fishing. These episodes can't be done without your help. You know the drill. Please make some comments, like and subscribe, and I'll keep working on more videos.